hi everyone. We're here to do the Biga today. Thanks so much for the overwhelming response on the Maltese Bread. Unfortunately, we didn't really film the Biga in the first one. So look, the Biga is required, so it gives the sourdough or the Maltese bread a bit of a sour taste to it, okay? So in Malta, sometimes what they do, I've heard, is they take a piece from the day's dough and they put it away and they add it to a starter and then mix it in with the bread, okay? So I'm just going to follow the recipe I've sort of been working with and adjust it, like, because I think some of you are saying it's coming out a little bit too thick. It really depends on the flour you're using on the day and everything, okay? So we can play around a bit with this, but let's just start it and we'll see how we go, okay? So I've just got this container here where I'm going to mix everything in. Now I like to mix everything with either wood or plastic. I know there's some old wives' tale that basically says if you contact metal with like yeast or something that doesn't rise as well, so I don't know whether it's true or not, so I just use either wooden chopsticks to stir, or I'm using a plastic spoon today. Okay, so we'll start off. So we've got 2 1/3 cup of just plain flour, preferably unbleached if you can find it. It's a bit hard to find flour at the moment, so just whatever you can find, but just make sure it's plain. Okay, we don't want self-raising or anything like that. So that just goes in. Okay. Now I use just instant yeast, a 1/4 teaspoon. Okay. Right. There you go. Put it in there. Okay, so we've got a 1/4 cup, okay, of warm water. So what I've done here, I've just put it in the kettle and then afterwards just let it like not be boiling and just left it in here. So this is like a bit of warm water. And then here, preferably if you've got some bottled water or filtered water, so it's 3/4 cup with an additional 4 teaspoons of water, okay? So let's just see how this comes out. So basically that's it. You get all that, and I'll just get the knife and I'll just give this a bit of a stir. Okay, now let's just see how this comes out, okay? So this is coming out more like a dough. Okay, so you can just leave it like this if you want and put the lid on and off you go. But for me, I think we're going to add maybe a little bit more water, okay? I like to get it probably a bit more consistency of being a little bit more wet. Okay, so just gonna have to judge this one a bit by eye. It doesn't really matter, right? It doesn't matter either way. It's still gonna work. It's still gonna ferment. It's still gonna give you that sour taste. I just find it a bit easier to handle with down the track. So I'm probably gonna leave it at that. So it's just a little bit more runny, but that's good enough. So it's sort of like a thickish kind of dough, okay? Now, lots of questions on this one. Look, I just put the lid on. You want to leave this at least, I say, 24, preferably 48 hours before we start making the dough and mix it in, okay? So you just want to get a nice sour taste from this. You can leave it in the fridge, you can leave it in the cupboard. Just try and sort of manage it. Every day get in there, open it up, see how it's looking, give it a bit of a smell. Okay, it's going to get a sour smell, but it's not an overwhelming smell, which you know, you'll be able to tell it's sort of going off. There is a test you can do where you can sort of get some of this and put it in water, and if it floats, it's still sort of active. If it starts to sink to the bottom, it's probably no good. Okay, so we'll leave that there. Now, okay guys, so this is my existing Biga that I used in the recipe for the bread. So this is now about 3 to 4 weeks old, okay? So this one's probably a little bit more runnier than the other one, okay? So it's got sort of like a very sort of sharp, distinct smell, and it's just more like porridge consistency. So this one's like now starting to, you know, get a bit more loose. So what you want to do with this is every day, to keep this sort of alive, you want to feed it. So basically I'm just feeding it 1 tablespoon of flour, the same flour that we used before, okay, and a tablespoon of water, okay. And so again, we can just give it a stir. I'll give it a bit of a mix with the spoon, okay, and you know, wipe that down. So what I'll do, you can sort of see this one, the consistency, it's a bit more runny, okay? So you can see that's gonna come out a bit more runny. So you can have this Biga, right, up to about 50-50 water, 50-50 water, 50-50 flour. And it really doesn't matter, it's still gonna give you the same kind of effect. It may affect the denseness of your dough, but look, it's just something you're gonna have to experiment with. I'd start off with something like what I've done here, and then bit by bit, if just add a bit more extra water and try and get that sort of runny consistency, okay? So that's about it. Look, thanks so much. I really appreciate all the support I'm getting out there. Let's give it all the thumbs up, give it a good like, subscribe, and let's try and get the whole world baking Maltese bread. Good luck, guys, and we'll see you soon.